Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. YouTube famous now. Alright. I'm so hungry right now. I want biscuits and gravy, and I'm trying not to. Oh my god, I want biscuits and gravy, home fries, and a big cup of coffee from Bob Evans. Bob Evans, down on the farm. So, I have props. I also have water because I'm really thirsty and I already went through my whole cup of coffee. I put out on Twitter, what should I talk about today in my video, because I don't really know. And I'm trying to steer clear a little bit of drama for a day or two. Get ready, because tomorrow I'm putting up some drama. Get ready. I got some good drama. But anyway, I was like, I want to do a story time. A lot of people were like, please tell a story time, please tell a story time, and blah, 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 whatever. And I'm going to tell you, you guys, in this story time, I am going to probably lose my shit and start crying, okay? So, let's just get right into this. I am going to tell you about the one love of my life that got away, okay? Now, before we get into this, I am a big believer that there is like this string of life that like goes through all of our experiences and attaches them together, and everything happens for a reason. I mean, I don't believe that everything happens for a reason, but I do think that things happen for reasons. And when I look at my life, things that have happened happen in a strange order. I definitely do not think that I would have such an amazing marriage with my husband, who is the man of my dreams. I love him so much. And, I mean, I adore him. If I had not gone through my other relationships, and had I not gone through the situation that I'm going to talk about today. So, let's go back to Peter, 22 years old, sober 3 months, straight out of treatment, okay? You want to see a picture of what Peter looked like then? Here I am, asleep. Can you guys see it? On my dad's basement. And there's a little sign that my dad has written there for me, and it says, success waiting to happen. Little did he know that I would end up being YouTube famous, right? So, Peter is in this film studies class, of which I felt very intellectual about. And there was this guy that sat in front of me, and he had curly hair. Like I've said before, I love curly hair. Months before we got married, I begged Alex to grow his hair out longer and curly, and he did. He wore it curly for like a whole year, and it's so sexy. I love it. I love curly hair on guys. And Alex's hair is more like wavy, but, so anyway, there was this guy that sat in front of me, and I remember he wore like baggy jeans, and he was like very skaterish looking, and, this green and white striped shirt that was like very Old Navy, and he always smelled like Woodland from Bath and Body Works. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I do know that that's what he wore. And he always smelled like fresh and clean. And then he wore these green Simple shoes. Do you remember that brand, Simple? So anyway, he would sit in front of me, and I can remember I would just be like, oh my God. Well, we would go out on breaks and smoke cigarettes, right? So, I started talking to him one day, and he asked me, he was like, have you seen the movie Jeffrey? Before that, we had started talking, and I found out that he was 19, and I was 22 at the time, and he had just graduated from high school, and was like, this was his first year at the school that I was at, which was IUPUI in Indianapolis, which is like Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis. And he said, have you ever seen the movie Jeffrey? Well, if you haven't seen the movie Jeffrey, it's a gay movie, okay? It's got about gay characters. It's very cute. And so we started talking about that, and then he started asking me, like, legit, like, all of these gay movies, right? So I'm like, is he trying to tell me he's gay? And honestly, he's probably not somebody that I would have guessed was gay, okay? And, so anyway, we just started talking, and then one day he said, hey, would you like to hang out tonight? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I still live at my parents' house, blah, 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 whatever. I said, well, just come over. We'll hang out. I remember we ended up going to, like, Perkins restaurant. And we, like, sat around and drank coffee and I don't know what. And then we went back to my apartment. And this is in, like, 1994, and he introduced me to a band I had never heard of before called the Dave Matthews Band. And, he played this song called Christmas Song for me. And I remember sitting in my apartment, we were smoking cigarettes, I had incense and candles burning. Baby, I was artsy, okay? And, I mean, I was immediately in love with this dude. Like, I just knew. Like, have you ever been with somebody and you're like, it's like that last scene of Lost in Translation when you're like, your soul's me, right? I just knew, like, I can feel myself getting emotional already. I felt like our souls met. So, I remember, like, we would, like, take walks and talked and all this kind of stuff, and we dated for 2 months. He was a bass player in his band with his brother, and very cool, but he would smoke a lot of pot and then come and see me, and I was sober, and he would smoke like tons, right? And show up like 2 hours late and apologize, and I just wasn't down with it. I was like, your pot smoking is becoming a priority over me. Well, at the same time, he had decided that he wanted to go to IU Bloomington. So this one weekend, he was playing, his band was playing at this like band festival in the forest, in the park area. And so he goes, I want you to come. It's really important for me that you come. So I came, and he played this song called St. Peter that he later sent to me. And it was basically like this goodbye song. And I remember just standing there, and he was just like playing it, and he was like singing, and he was like bawling his eyes out like while I was playing it, and there was like tons of people there, right? And then he called me later, and he said, I can't be with you right now. Like, I need to go to IU. I need to be myself. I need to experience college campus. I said, I don't want to stand in the way of your dreams. You've got to go do what you've got to do, right? So that was that. And I didn't hear from him. And we didn't talk much. Maybe once a month he would call and check in and be like, hey, I'm loving my classes. I'm taking creative writing classes, and my undergraduate degree is in creative writing. So we would talk about that and, all kinds of stuff. And that October, I met my very first boyfriend of like a very serious relationship. And I remember it was like Christmas break. And so his name is Todd, this love of my life, right? So the one that went to Bloomington. Can't believe I didn't say that already. So Todd is home for Christmas break. And I'm at a thrift store with my new boyfriend, right? That we've now dated for a couple months. And Todd comes in with these friends. And I remember we see each other, and it was very much like movie moment, right? Like where you see each other from across the room. And he like raised his hand. And before he raised his hand, I like turned and I looked at my boyfriend, who was like looking through these shirts. And I was like, this isn't the time. Like, it's not meant to be, right? Because I was so in love with my boyfriend. And he was like, okay. And he was like, I'll call you. So he, like 2 days later, he called me, and he was like, so what's going on? And I was like, I started dating somebody in October. I'm in love with him. He was like, okay, I'm happy for you. He goes, I want you to be happy. He goes, Peter, I love you. He goes, I know someday you will write this book that you want to write, and you'll be in a bookstore, and I'll just happen to come in, and we'll sit down and go and have coffee, and you'll sign this book for me, and we'll start talking, and things we'll end up together the way that we're supposed to end up together. And I was like, yep, probably. World works in weird ways like that. So, life is short, life is long, life is weird, People come in and out of our lives. So, he went back to IU, and my boyfriend and I dated for a while. I think we dated like 4.5, 5 years. And then we broke up. And then I was at an Allman Brothers concert. You guys, I was a bit of a hippie back in the day. So anyway, I was at an Allman Brothers concert, and I ran into Todd. And Todd was with his new boyfriend, and I was single. And it was very similar to the thrift store. It wasn't going to happen. And he called me like a day later, and he was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, I'm totally in love with this guy. I said, hey, listen, I don't want to stand in the way of I'm not going to stand in the way of who you want to be with. I'm really happy for you, You deserve it. You're an amazing person. And he said, well, we're moving. And I said, you are? And he goes, yeah, we're moving to San Francisco. And I said, great. He goes, I got into a master's program out there. I'm really excited. And, I want to do all this kind of stuff. He was writing at that point reviews for games. He was really into like gaming. And I was like, that's cool. I'm so happy for you. I meant to show you guys a picture of him from the beginning. But anyway, so he moves to San Francisco, and we don't talk much. And then I start dating my new boyfriend. And we dated for a long time. Well, Todd and I talked in between there, just as friends, didn't really say a whole lot. And at some point, he was going to come home and visit. And this was like, okay, so my ex and I broke up. Oh, so Todd's boyfriend died, okay, of very strange complications. And he never told me why. He never said, like, this is what happened. He was heartbroken over it, okay? I mean, like, would call me and just train wreck, bawling his eyes out. I don't know what to do, this dog we have, blah, 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 whatever. It was just, I didn't know what was going on, but I was very worried about him. The conversations weren't making a lot of sense. I could tell he was like severely dealing with grief. And he and his ex-boyfriend Travis, I think, had been together for a very long time, like 10 years. And so I said, you know, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. He's like, I think I just need to move home with my parents. I don't know what else to do. And his parents at that time had moved from Indianapolis to Bloomington area. So I was like, okay. He goes, well, would you come down and see me? And I said, Todd, I'm in a relationship. I can't come and see you. Okay, like, this isn't going to happen. And it had kind of gotten to a point where he had sent me some very, like, love letters. You're the person I want to be with for the rest of my life. I've always known that. You've always known that. It was becoming almost kind of toxic to my relationship a little bit. But my relationship was not great, okay? It was not great by any means. And so several months go by, and my ex and I break up, and I really, to be honest with you, my first thought was not this time to reach out to Todd. It just wasn't. I was dating other people, and I thought, you know, like, it is what it is, and I didn't really think anything about it. So anyway, I'm looking for this picture right now. So that summer, my mom passed away in May, and that summer, you're going to have to just bear with me while I'm looking for this picture. That summer, I reached out to him. Here he is. Hold on. There's Todd. And here is a better picture of him. See, he wears a trucker hat. So I reached out to Todd, and he was living in Bloomington with his parents, and he said, will you come down and visit me? I want to talk to you. He's like, I think this is the time. And I said, okay. And I was single. And he goes, I want to move in together. I want to make this work. And I said, okay. And I went down there. I don't know what had happened to Todd. He wasn't the same person that I had met those years before. Drugs had overtaken his life. He had missing teeth. He didn't look well. I said, you need to pull your life together. I can't be part of this. I said, I'm more than willing to help you get the help you need. He goes, I don't need any help. I don't know what you're talking about. It ended up very badly. He was very nasty to me. He said, I don't ever want to talk to you again. He said, you either accept me how you are, how I am, or you don't accept me at all. And I said, I can't accept having this in my life. I've worked too hard to stay sober, to have a positive life. You know, Todd, this was an issue for us 15 years ago. I can't have it now. He said, okay, fine. He goes, drive me back to my parents' house. I can't believe that you've changed into this person. You're this person, I never knew who you were, and you blah, 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 whatever. And I'll never forget, I pulled him up to his parents' house, and he just got out of my car, and he slammed the door. And he just walked in. That was the last time I ever saw Todd. So I made a video of Todd, and based on the Katy Perry story, the one that got away. Do you guys remember that song? Years ago, when this channel, I privatized all these videos. I should probably throw this video up. But anyway, I made this video about Todd, and it was called the one that got away. So anyway, I was over at my friend Sherry's house one night, and we were sitting there talking about past boyfriends and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, oh my God, Sherry, I gotta tell you the story about what happened with this guy named Todd. Oh, he was the love of my life. He was so sexy. We just like, it was supposed to be, okay? And that's the sad thing about drugs and alcohol, is that they really mute somebody's existence. And I really do think, because that last time was before I met my husband, okay? I never even knew who my husband was before that. And if, I'm telling you, if Todd's shit had been cleaned up at that point, I think we would still be together today, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, I go to show her on his Facebook page where I had posted this video, because I couldn't find the video. November 28th, 2011. You guys always want to hear personal stories on my channel. Here's one about lost love after listening to Katy Perry's new song, The One That Got Away. And so I put this video up here, right? You guys want to see old Peter? Let's see if I can pull it up. Oh, it says this video is private. Duh. Okay. So anyway, I'm going through this, and as I'm going through this, sitting on my friend's couch, this is legit, you guys, like a year and a half ago. The next one up, okay, so here's my post of 2011, posted on August 19th of 2012. R.I.P. Todd, you are in a much better place. And I just sat there on Sherry's couch and I was like, what? Like, I don't understand what happened. And so all these people started posting on here, love you always, hope you are amongst the happy little clouds. And then it was weird that somebody posted on here, friends of Todd, please will someone tell me what became of our friend? I lost contact with him months ago. Well, there were all of these Facebook posts about people that didn't know what had happened to Todd, that they had lost contact with him, whatever. So I reached out to one of them and I said, I know you don't know who I am, blah, 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 whatever. And I explained who I was. And she was like, I know exactly who you are. Todd talked about you all the time. And she said he passed away. She said he was very, very sick. She said, I don't really know what he was sick from. I don't really know why. She was like, his parents refused to have any kind of funeral or anything for him. She goes, I think it's because he was gay. They were never really that accepting of him. And she said, I don't know if that's changed now. She goes, but there was no obituary. There was no funeral. There was nothing. And so anyway, I came home that night from Sherry's, and I told Alex, I said, oh my God, I have to tell you what happened tonight. And he goes, what happened? And I said, and he had known about Todd. I had told him about Todd. And I said something about, you know, like, he was the love of my life. And Alex stopped me and he goes, well, you can still be with him. If you need to be with him and he's the love of your life. I said, babe, he passed away. I found out that he passed away in 2012. And Alex was like, I'm so sorry. And like, I don't, like, my husband, like I said, is who I want to be with. But I think at the same time, you always kind of wonder, like, what would have happened? You know, like, what if? And, it's weird because, like, songs come on the radio all the time that make me think of Todd. He introduced me to so many, like, really good songs, great music. I love Dave Matthews Band. I wouldn't love Dave Matthews Band if it wasn't for him. There are areas in Indianapolis that we used to go to that I think about him all the time. And I think, you know, the fact that somebody that I loved died alone, wasn't given an obituary, no funeral, no Facebook notification, nothing. They took all of his pictures down. Where does our ignorance and our misunderstanding stop? And just our love for people in our lives go? I don't know. But I know that a beautiful soul's life was cut short, and we probably never would have ended up together, honestly. As I'm now looking back, contradicting myself, we probably wouldn't have, you know? I don't know. After 20 years, if it doesn't work out, it's not supposed to be, you know? But there's not really a whole lot of days that go by that I don't kind of think about him in some way or another, like a song comes on the radio, or I'm like, I don't know, just something crazy, you know, like, or I see a shirt that reminds me of him, or whatever. And, you know, I think with grieving, you never move on, you move through, but you remember that person. And that is part of my dedication to Todd, to tell his story, to tell what a wonderful, beautiful person he was, what a caring friend he was. And he's the only person that's ever written me a song. And life is short. And people are vital. And people are important. And so I think, you know, the lesson from all of this is tell those people in your life today that mean something to you, what they mean. Don't wait. Fix shit in your life today. Don't wait. And make the most of your life, because we're on borrowed time as it is. I love you guys so much. Please follow me on all my social media. It's listed below. And I'm also vlogging on a daily basis on my Peter Vlogs channel. It's listed below too. No more emotional story times. Or maybe more. You guys will be like, more. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Bye.